The basic idea behind this little gem is that we need to use this rule, which I'm going to switch variables to u here for a second, that if we have sine of something over the same thing, sine of u over u, and u is headed to 0, then that limit is 1. That's what we know. The problem with this limit that we're given is that we don't have the same thing inside and on the bottom like we do down here. We need a u and a u. But if what's inside this sine is 4x, well, there's nothing wrong with me putting a 4 down here with this thing, and now they are the same thing. But I've changed the problem, so technically you can't just put a 4 there. You have to undo the change you've made. So putting a 4 on the bottom can be canceled out by putting a 4 on the top. And a lot of times, kids will say, well, what's the point of that? They're just going to cancel out. Well, yes, they would cancel out if you did that, but that's not the point of what we just did. Now we're allowed to do this. Check this out. I can bring this 4 outside the limit. Okay, because remember, limits work very, very well with multiplication and division and all that good stuff. So the 4 times this sine 4x, well, the 4 can just slide right out front. Since there's no x with the 4, x is going to 0, but 4 is just 4. He's not changing. So we can rewrite this as 4 times this limit. And now, since I have the same thing in sine as I do down the bottom, and as x goes to 0, both of these are going to 0. 4x goes to 0 if x goes to 0. This just equals the 4 from out front times 1, which is 4. This limit in here is just 1 because it's the same thing as this up here. U is going to 0, so x is going to 0, okay? Sine of u, well, 4x, even though it's not the same thing as x, it's still going to 0, and this is still going to 0. So, same rule.